Warning! Graphic pest control video ahead. Do not watch if you might be offended. If, however, you really like watching pest control videos, then hello again and welcome to the Squirrel Hunter channel. Please continue and watch us as we control pest populations with silenced air rifles here in the UK. If you have any questions, can you please check the description below first to see if it's already been answered and for some useful links. Thank you. If you watched enough of the videos, you'll recognise this feeder. This is Bro's feeder. The top end of the wood by the house. I'm in the other one at the moment. I've actually got the scope cam. He hasn't, so I'll show his first, as is traditional. If we shoot the same location on the same day, I usually include the two together in the same video. So this is Bro with the Air Arms S510 shooting Hunter Extremes in 177. You'll see a picture of the rifle at the end. This is squirrel number 1 for the day. And down to the ground, no issues there. The whole of last year, he had 3 squirrels off his feeder in about half a dozen attempts. He's only come out today on spec just because I'm down on the other one. Not actually shooting in the same hide together. But we still keep in touch by text. You can see this one messes about quite a lot, and I've sped him up to 5 times speed. Sometimes you just got to be patient. Just imagine how long this clip would be if I hadn't sped it up. It's become motionless in the tree pretty much. Bro's looking at it with you to take a shot. Nothing wrong with that. They only need to sit still. He was adjudged to sit still for long enough. These little roots we leave with the logs of doom, as we call them, very often serve as a bit of a highway for a squirrel to get to the feeder. Just imagine how much scent appears on that, leading new squirrels to the feeder, which is what we hope to happen. And then we have this result. You see a bit of card on the feeder there. Bro uses to 0 when he gets there. Bit of robin footage for you. Plenty of other creatures use their open top feeders, get a free feed. That stick wasn't put there by Bro. It's fallen down in the high winds we've had in the recent months, or the last month or so. Some quite severe winds in the UK. And again, this is another one that's not so keen to come rushing straight in. I think it can see the bodies in the ivy. It's quite overgrown on the ground here. Lots of ivy about. And that one seems to have frozen up there. I think that noise was my text message to Bro telling him I haven't seen anything just yet. Or maybe I've got my first one, I'm not sure. I can't remember now. You can see how long that sits up the tree, just begging for a shot. Bro's lining up on it to take the shot. And listen for the ricochet after the shot happens. I think it's gone through the head and then caught a branch or something. Let me know in the comments what you think. Whee! There it goes. That's squirrel 4 on the deck. So he's managed to get more in one session than he did the entirety of last year. And there's the S510 in 177. We've had lots of requests for scope cam footage, and I've tried building my own. It does work okay. You can see the screen's quite good, but there's lots of black edges around the side. But I normally use a mask to make it look round. The only trouble with this homemade gear, although it works okay, it's got big batteries on it. There's quite a lot of equipment, and I put it in this box. And it's quite heavy to carry, so I haven't really been carrying it much. But now I've got my hands on a 1-leaf commander. It fits straight to the back of the scope. Quite a small, compact unit. You look straight through it down the scope, rather than look at the screen like on my homemade version. And there it is on the back of my Theban Rapid 177. I'm using Barracuda Hunter Extremes, same as Bro just did. I'm in the other woodland. I've got there at first light. I'd like to take a moment to thank Lee Hooley of the Corvid Hunter channel. After watching his excellent review, I'll put the link in the description. I asked him what he thought, so I was going to buy one. He put me in touch with the company and they sent me one. There's also a 10% off discount code if you would indeed like to buy one yourself. Unfortunately here I haven't focused it very well. I didn't wear my glasses when I was doing it. So trouble, what looks good to my eyes without the glasses on doesn't necessarily look good in real life. Anyway, you can see I actually hit the spinner. I know the rifle's on target, should always zero. I keep saying it in every video because it's worth reinforcing the point that you shouldn't be trying to shoot living creatures without knowing your equipment is actually on point and nothing's happened to it in transit. When I first got it, I got it set up and I went out ratting with Bruv. Didn't do a very great job, so I haven't included the footage. I didn't focus it very well. Definitely need my glasses when I come to looking down the scope to get it to work properly. But other than my bad eyesight, it's pretty simple to use. And as if by magic, teleported onto the tree there, the first victim arrives. I was rather hoping I'd get several today. You can see I've just left the footage in its native format, which is pretty much square like you see here. And I would use my other one, I would use a mask to make it circular, to clip off the black edges, but not on this one. See, I lined up straight on the eyebrow. See where I'm aiming exactly. Crossing the head shot. That and the straight on shots seem to be pretty devastating when it comes to hunting squirrels. And that's precisely why I always put shelves on the side of my feeders these days rather than the front. It forces them into positions where the shots are really easy. And by easy, I mean more likely to result in an insta-kill. Just a little bit of spinal activity. There's a link in the description to Ted's video telling you why that happens if you don't know already. I expected to see more squirrels on the ground today. You've got to take what turns up. There's some jays calling down the wood. Quite often they turn up on the feeder these days. We don't shoot them pretty much at any of our permissions. It's not required to. There's only one. They've asked us to keep the numbers down. And that's on Squirrel Hill. Get another magic teleportation of a squirrel. Looked up from my phone and there he was. Sat on the lid. I've already made my decision. I'm going to go for the rifle and pick it up. Wake up the one leaf. You hear a train coming down the main line behind me. It's a few hundred yards away and I get ready to take the shot. And you can see precisely where I was aiming. There's a quartering towards me shot. Quite happy with that. Always trains turning up at the inopportune moments. Quick zoom in. Minimal movement. It's pretty much dead as a doornail where it is. The robbing footage for you. That's all I got, I'm afraid to say today. Do you like seeing the birds turn up? Crows and jackdaws in the distance having a fit. I spot some movement in the distance, fleetingly over there in that circle. Thought he was going to come in, pay me a visit, bump my numbers up. I know they're in the woodland, just getting them to come to the feeder. Straight after I saw that one, I decided to tell Bro what had happened. Made quite a bit of noise in the hide and spooked another squirrel. I do believe it was a separate squirrel looking at this footage. And I realised another mistake I'd made. All schoolboy errors, never to be repeated. This one comes in 10 minutes later. I turn on the one leaf and it dies. So I've not used the proper battery, I'd left it on charge. That's the battery that comes with it. And I had it on charge at home. And I was just using an ordinary 18650 battery which I used in my torch that fitted. And it ran out. I do believe the battery they supply is something like a 3500 milliamp hour flat top battery with no little nipple on the end. I've since bought some more 3,400 milliamp hour ones that fit in. But note to self, if I use that battery I'll get quite a lot more usable time out of my device than if I use cheap and nasty ones out of my torch. But again, we got the thing off pretty quickly. It's a little button you've got on the right hand side, you pull it back and then twist it anti-clockwise about, I don't know, 10 or 15 degrees. It just uncouples itself from the scope. So I got it off pretty quick. This one was on the tree. I didn't want to go mad trying to search for another battery and spook him, so I went for the let's get the kill rather than potential footage. I'll just have to go out another day and get some more, which you'll see at the end of this video I did do. So I do apologise for the lack of scope cam footage here. Because the scope cam's not on, I've centred the squirrel in the screen. If you notice, they're normally off centre when we video, because we leave room to put the scope cam footage on. Straight on headshot, no issues there. I was a bit annoyed about the battery, but I was glad to get another one on the deck. I'm looking at it down the scope now. You see the safety go back on. A noisy old crow in the background. Quite a lot of damage done by the 177 pellets. Do bleed out quite a bit. And there's 3 for the 1 leaf. On to a different session, but I'll just show you this first. I had to do a bit of maintenance on this feeder. Top of the hill. To pick your own farm. You see the squirrel damage to it. I'm not sure they did that bottom bit. I think that's just rotted out. Maybe a badger got up there and have a pull on it. I don't know. It looks pretty rotten to me. Obviously needs some love and attention. It's been up there a few years with pretty much no interaction with me other than filling it up and shooting it. I'll give it a good wash out. I need to get a new piece for the bottom. Always pays to maintain your feeders. And there it is. I've panel pinned it on there and glued it on with no more nails. Or grip fill, I can't remember now. Might be grip fill looking at the colour. Some sort of construction adhesive. I've also refitted the little triangle in the bottom to try and stop grain sticking in that corner. And I'll armoured the bottom with the piece of metal I had before, and around the edge with beading just to make sure no squirrels could undo my good work. And talking about good work, the winds I spoke about earlier on did some quite devastating tree felling in the area. That's down where Bro normally shoots. You see in the distance just there in the centre, there's a squirrel watching me as I arrived. See the aftermath. Even his tree has given up the ghost. It's leant over. I've had to go there, remount that feeder over roughly where we saw the squirrel. You can see in that circle, that's where I've put the feeder with Bro. Also felled that big tree in case it fell in the road. Just took a little shove. Less than a week later, I'm out shooting. Bro can't. He's got his sons come to visit. So I've been down the bottom and I've wedged a load of wood on the hopper lid to stop the squirrels getting in. As I arrived, I got there a bit too late. It's the shortest day of the year, the 21st. And by my reckoning, I was about half an hour late getting there. The squirrel dived off his feeder. So it's been there less than a week and the squirrels have found it already. We already know this feeder of mine's been used. I turned up the other week. There were squirrels on the trees by his. And about 10 o'clock in the morning, there were squirrels on mine. But today it seems to be a pheasant fest. They don't run pheasants on this land. It's a pick your own farm. They do find themselves over the hedge in the area. And the owner sort of leaves them alone a bit. He has said I can shoot 1 or 2. He doesn't want them all shot. I've got no wish to shoot them with an air rifle. I don't need one to eat that badly, but if I was going around with a shotgun looking for squirrels, and one would happen to flush in front of me, I've got permission to have a shot for it. I'll try and take it on the wing. Though it's not illegal to shoot them with an air rifle in season with permission on the right days of the week. Check your laws. At least where I am, they're not anyway. I'm just content to watch them. The more activity around the feeder we think, the more likely it looks to a squirrel that everything's okay. Also attracts their attention. But I know at least a couple of squirrels know where this feeder is, so I'm going to sit it out. Probably got there about 8. Probably go about 11 or 12. There's the first visitor of the day. Caught me unawares, messing around on Facebook on my phone. Reaching for the rifle. I'll line up on and take the shot. Quartering towards me virtually. Straight over the eyebrow. 177 pellet. Exactly the same setup as I had last time. So the whole of the video we've got 2 rifles used and the same pellets. There's a sniff of satisfaction. And that pretty much sums up how I feel about shooting squirrels. I don't jump for joy. I don't mourn their passing. I'm only satisfied that I've got them, and I've got them clean. It's a culmination of all the effort we put in, putting the feeders up, picking the right spot, checking them, filling them, maintaining them, making sure the rifle's on spot, making sure you got the right pellet to go in. Little chuckle to myself there as this female pheasant comes in from the right. I said it before and I'll say it again, they're pretty birds but ever so stupid. Turn the camera back on again because she seemed to be getting closer and closer. Not quite sure what she's found to peck at there. Once they know there's a bit of free grain they normally come across. You can usually tell when they've been there as well because they tend to produce a bare patch where they scrat away looking for extra grains and spilt pieces. Here's another victim. Again, I was caught napping, messing around on my phone. Waking the camera up, and the one leaf's on. I'll take the shot. Straight in the side of the head. Between the eye and the ear, I tend to go towards the front edge of the ear if I can. It's not my favourite shot, the side on one. I much prefer the straight on or quartering towards me shots. That stick is annoying. Time I didn't think it'd matter that much, but watching it now, editing it, I'm thinking, should have ripped it out. What's the reaction to this pheasant? I did get an awful lot of pheasant footage today, on this day even. I haven't included most of it. Just bits I thought might be interesting. She's okay at that distance. The stupid fat squirrel's laying where I want to be. She doesn't want to go anywhere near it. She wants the food. Interesting behaviour. But hardly surprising knowing what grey squirrels are like. They've probably encountered each other before. Probably had 3 or 4 hen birds in front of me at one point. Cock birds were calling a bit. These two come up the hill. Didn't seem to mind each other's company. My phone buzzing there, I think that might be Bro. Keeping him updated even though he was... See, this cockbird's more scared of the squirrels than the hen birds was. Little chuckle to myself. Actually, paying attention enough to spot this one come in. Come down and look at the corpses on the ground. You can hear the chair creaking a little bit as I'm leaning over to get the rifle. It's pretty much up on the sticks, resting on the chair, waking the one leaf up. The crosshairs are out of line a little bit. You can electronically move them, I do believe. I had them pretty much central, but I think I've knocked it. I'm clumsy. Still fits in the picture better, doesn't it? The zero's still the 0, which you'll see in a second. There we go. I'm trying to judge its general demeanour. Head movements were quite slow. Straight in the top of the head with that one. Hasn't kicked far, has it? Dropped straight on top of the other two. Pleased with that. Yet another one comes from the left. It's what we call travellers. Ones that don't live anywhere near the feeder, are bed down somewhere else, but they range across their area looking for food. And if you were travelling to work, you'd pretty much take the same amount of time to get there in your car. It's the same with these squirrels. If you've got a dray a certain distance away, squirrels move at a certain average speed. You can pretty much time them. I had said to Bro in one of my texts I'd be happy to get another two when I had to. This one's looking ripe for shooting. I sprinkled that grain on that ledge. There we go, that'll do nicely. Straight over the top of the eyebrow, with the head tilted that way. It's a good brain shot. That's the boy. I think these are all boars, these, from memory. Probably this year's young, judging by the size of the nads. Anyway, that concludes my first one leaf video, the return of the scope cam. And it will be coming with me on all my hunts in 2022, I do imagine. I'll have to move it between rifles. Let me know what you think of it. Also check out the link in the description, as I said earlier on, to Lee's video showing the unboxing. There's also a promotional code 10% off if you should want to treat yourself for Christmas. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.